Welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. I'm Carolyn McDonald and I'm here with Jonathan Chen to talk about his film White. Let's take a look at a clip.
Grandma? Grandma? Popo.
Jonathan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, wonderful to be talking with you today. Your film is so, it's so beautiful and intense, and there's a lot going on there. What was your inspiration for it?
It's so the creature that's in the movie is called a zhangshi, which is like a Chinese hopping vampire.
Okay.
They were very popular in like Hong Kong cinema in like the 80s. They were kind of more horror comedy stuff. But you know, my cousin used to scare me with stories about it, you know, to try to get me to hold my breath and stuff like that. And around the time I was trying to decide what I wanted to do for my MFA thesis film at UCLA, I'd kind of had this idea about doing some sort of horror film, kind of talking a little bit about like anti-Asian hate that was kind of going on and a lot of stuff that was happening. And I thought about this monster from like my childhood, and that's how I started thinking about developing this story about the feelings I was having about a lot of things that were happening around that time.
Right, exactly. So how were you able to take this mythology and weave it into the anti-Chinese hate, like specifically, I mean, for people who haven't seen it,
Yeah.
and talk about that process scripting wise.
Yeah, it's kind of a history lesson, so I apologize if I come off pedantic here. But you know, it's like the original mythology of the creature came from a period like in the 16th or 17th century in China when there was a lot of Western expansion. And with Chinese people, like we have a thing about being buried back in our hometowns. So, you know, if you have all these people coming out to the west side of China and they're, you know, getting, you know, taken by like the elements or by whatever else, people would have to take these bodies back to their hometowns. And what they did was they had corpse drivers who would string up these people with like with bamboo sticks and essentially hop them back to their hometowns. And eventually it just started to like take a life of its own, and it became this kind of monster, this kind of creature that people were scared of, you know. And when I was thinking about the U.S., you know, it's like there's during the Wild West, during the Gold Rush, there's also a lot of Chinese, you know, pioneers who are out there. And obviously a lot of Chinese people died during those periods. And it got me thinking, what about the people who weren't able to get back, you know, to their hometowns across the Pacific? And it just kind of got me thinking about what if there was one of these creatures in San Francisco, and it started to haunt like the people, you know, as kind of a metaphor for like racism and a lot of the difficulties that Chinese people face in the U.S.
So with those metaphors visually in your film, talk about the way you wove this in beautifully within San Francisco present day, you know, this women, the dynamics of the younger women and the older women, and how you wove that visually. It's such a beautiful film too. The DP is wonderful. I want to talk about that too. So tell us about your production process visually and directing.
Yeah, I had never really made a horror film before, and to be honest, growing up, I was terrified. I was scared of horror films. It wasn't really until the pandemic that I started watching more horror films because I just needed to feel something during that period. And so, but you know, I started really kind of getting into that genre, and yeah, it's a very interesting. I feel like there's something so simple about the genre of horror. You know, it's like it just has to be able to scare people, right? It's very, very pure, very, very clear in that sense, which is a really good test, I think, of the craft of, you know, being a director. And so, you know, I worked with my DP, Michael Thomas, who actually is also a New Filmmakers LA alum, who was here with his great film, First Position. But, and he and I had worked on a previous film together, and, you know, we kind of teamed back up for this one. And he had experience shooting in San Francisco and stuff. But yeah, you know, and it was just a, you know, so also like the apartments that we shot in, that's actually my grandmother's apartment.
Really?
Growing up, and a lot of those streets in San Francisco are streets that, you know, when I was growing up, we'd go up to San Francisco to visit. I'm a Bay Area native. So, you know, it's a lot of like just like kind of like my own personal like surroundings and what I grew up around, and kind of like placing it inside of this genre sort of jacket.
Right, right. Yeah, it's beautiful. It really, really is beautiful. And I love San Francisco. It's such a photogenic town. So I
Yeah,
can't,
people don't shoot there enough.
I know, it's very true. It's a beautiful city. Beautiful, beautiful city. So talk about again with the story, the characters, the two young women, the older women. Were there the present day archetypes? I mean, I understand, like you said, this folklore character. Talk about what these women represented in your story.
So yeah, it's like, for me, it was like the generational aspect of the family. You know, it's like these three generations of women. It's the grandmother, it's, you know, and then it's like the mother's sort of generation, and then it's these two girls who are the main characters. And you know, I followed the story of Marion, who's kind of coming back to San Francisco after her grandmother is attacked and hospitalized after what seemed like a robbery gone wrong in her store. And as she sort of like, as the protagonist sort of investigates a little bit, she starts to realize that maybe it's this other thing that's haunting, you know, the city and specifically that neighborhood and maybe the people there. You know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just again, wonderfully portrayed, you know, those layers, those layers. So tell us about the physical production of the film. You know, how many days, what was your team like? You said it was a UCLA thesis film.
Yeah, yeah. I tried to use a lot of the same people that, you know, it's a lot of my cohort. It's a lot of people I've come up with. You know, we have a small cohort generally each year. So a lot of us are pretty tight. But yeah, we shot for 4 days, actually mostly overnights, which was difficult. I had never really done overnights.
Yeah.
This was also my first time really shooting on location. My previous film, we shot on a soundstage 3 days. It was like the chillest, you know, way to do it. And then here we are taking a whole crew from LA up to San Francisco and, you know, having to do overnights shooting on location. You have the sound issues. You know, you have, it's hard to fit certain things in places, but you know, my team really, shout out to them. You know, a lot of them really made it work, and I'm really appreciative to all of them for what they've contributed. So, but yeah, I mean, it was definitely a difficult shoot, and it was a great learning experience.
Really. So what did you learn that you like to share with other filmmakers?
I think one of the things that I really kind of learned was just to be, you know, it's like when there's so many distractions, how to stay true to your vision and not really compromise on that. You know, it's like, I think it can be easy to sort of doubt yourself and kind of think to yourself like, oh, maybe this isn't that important to get, or maybe, oh, I don't need to do it this way necessarily. And it's good to be flexible, but like, I think, you know, some directors, it's like they have to learn to be more flexible. I think I have to learn to be more stand my ground, so to speak, with some of my choices a bit more, even when it might prove to be difficult at times. But that's more of my personality, I think. Yeah.
Cool. So going forward, tell us what we can look out for from you.
Next for me, I really want to develop this into a feature. You know, it was originally conceived of as a feature. This is a short proof of concept. So if anybody knows anybody rich out there and they want to invest in some films, I need money. So yeah. But yeah, I've got a pitch deck. I've got, you know, a script and everything. And I'm just, you know, it's kind of just the slow march towards developing it into a feature.
Yeah, and I could see it too. I mean, I really could see it as a feature. It's really beautifully shot, and all the layers that you're talking about, that you explore. The history, the present day, the mythology, the character dynamics. So yeah, I hope that it comes to fruition for you. I really,
Appreciate that.
really hope so. Okay, well, thank you so
Yeah,
much
thank
for
you.
coming to talk to us today. Where can we follow you and send you some money, maybe?
My Venmo is no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, I have Instagram. It's just Jonathan Gunyu Chen, JonathanGengyuchen. My name's very common, obviously. I'm not really on social media a whole lot, but yeah, I mean, always feel free to reach out.
Okay. All righty. Well, thank you so much,
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Thanks.
Best of luck with it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.